Hello everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is Chris from Cinema Trailer News. This will be my spoiler review for Thor Love and Thunder. So it's important how you leave your audience when they leave the theaters, what kind of mood they are. And I think Thor Love and Thunder leaves you in such a good mood. Now I think people will have mixed things to say about the movie, but I think they overall will feel good about Thor Love and Thunder. Now one of the things that I love most about this movie is how it sets us the stage for Thor 5. And there's so much to love here. So the movie sets up the stage for Thor 5, where Zeus feuds with Thor sends Hercules to assess his vengeance. Hercules being none other than Roy Kent. Oh my god, break ghosting. Now the show is so quickly, but it was awesome. I was so happy to see him, and but again it was so quick that I was like, which is kind of brilliant because you're like, give me more. And I mean, Thor versus Roy Kent, it was itself. And I wish I could saw that movie right this second. And like, forget Star Wars Taika Waititi and make Thor 5. Now, Jane Foster also dies. She only lasted one movie, like a lot of Marvel villain, and I'm glad because she was awful. And so let's just skip to the Valkyrie part where she's Valkyrie, but I guess she's going to need a different name because we already have a Valkyrie. Although they share the screen time so much, I guess there's kind of a foreshadowing because she and Valkyrie are such a good friends in this movie, and that is foreshadowing that they indeed become sister. But they're almost like Team 1 and Team 2 in this movie because neither of them have their own identity. They're just the woman in those lives because they're just there and they handle so poorly. But anyway, she goes to Valhalla, where she's greeted by Handel with a new look. But Idris Elba is back, baby. So I'm very excited about that development. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. And then, of course, the most significant change, totally new, not from the comics. This is just totally an idea of the MCU, but I would like it to see it reflected in the comics. And that's that Thor, encouraged by Jane before she dies, agreed to adopt Gor's daughter, who Gor has brought back to life because he was his dying wish. So he needed someone to look after her. Of course, he was dying. Marvel always killed their villains after one damn movie, for the most part. It's stupid. I like the look on Thor's face where he kinda didn't want to do it at first, but he was still pretty upset with Gor. But you know, he was talking a big game, and he of course has just lost Jane. But you know, he felt that he had responsibility, and that foreshadow was cool early in the movie, saying I always felt that Thor would make a really great dad, and I think he does. And it seems, by the way, that Gor's daughter now has the powers of a god, the god of eternity. But when this was first happening, I thought it was incredibly jarring to see Thor single dad in the kitchen scene. I was like, what's happening? I was having a hard time getting everything in place because I was like, is this Thor right now? That is a family man, and that really it was difficult. I was like, I didn't know how to feel about this permanent shame for the character. But when they had that last shot of them, and like when the spaceship opened and it revealed that she wasn't going to school, but she was going to battle with Thor, and because he was continuing to help the universe, and when he tells her, you see those stupid guys like that, we like them, we want to help them. So they leap into battle, and then Gor with his narration said they were known throughout the galaxy as Love and Thunder, and that he's such in such a perfect way. And I thought that was so sweet, and I like it that that is the title refers to. And this is just awesome, and I came to really like this new development. And I'm going. I'm curious to how everyone is going to react to this. I don't think everyone is going to love it as much as I did, but it was a whirlwind of emotion and came out in the end in a happy place. Now that was the basically the last 20 minutes of the movie. Now let's talk about the rest of the movie. Well, the movie structurally is a mess. There's a Taka Waititi car. There's like the 4 hour car, which is clearly the better car. But anyway, I think where we shall start to address the two famous storylines that it updates. And let's start with Gor's, because that's the one that turned out better because Christian Bale really delivered, whereas Natalie Portman did not. Now the movie started abruptly because we were thrust into Gor's story and was pulled so quickly into the film by Bale's tour de tour performance. Today, we especially with political things going on, we find ourselves talking a lot about religion. So it was fascinating and gusty to see Taika Waititi so boldly address the elephant in the room, and that if there is a God or gods and they care so much about you and you devoted your whole life to them without question, then why so much suffering? I thought that was a valid question, and I wish that could have been explored more. But what we get is still very sophisticated and interesting for not just a comic book movie, but for a Marvel comic book movie. I was so thrilled. And what I is in the 4 hour car release it. I thought that intro the ghost storyline just devolving into a mess. He likely took a back seat in his own storyline, and we never really see Gor fight anyone. He in the comic his skills were iconic. He only kills that one guy in the first scene on screen, and then everything else is off screen. Ridiculous. And then I didn't like the idea of him creating those generic shadow monsters to fight everyone else. I was like, God is such a unique and interesting character with such a great and sophisticated motivation, and it just boils down to what Spike is feeling with these creatures, and then he hands back and watches. But I didn't like the evil look on his face. He's such a compelling character with his glowing eyes in the dark and the shadow alive with evil gleam, which Christian Bale gets across so well, and I'm like, boy, is he having a good time. And he's very funny, which we don't actually get to see from Christian Bale. And that way he can move to the shadows from teleportation, surprise attack. I love it. It was so great and such a waste of an amazing villain. Not just they kill him, but they even wasted in this movie. He didn't even get to shine. And then the whole thing about him trying to get to eternity, which is actually the God to make a wish, and will be his wish to kill all the gods. That I think that what he think his wish was, but I kind of feel that no, he was going to wish to bring his daughter back, but Thor touched to him into choosing love, and he wishes to bring his daughter back, especially because Thor said he would take care of her. But Thor, can you make a wish to bring back Jane, bring back Gor, bring them both back? I guess gods cannot make requests to other gods, but I like the come on, man. In the comments, what happens to Gor in the end is that he becomes a god himself, and ironic. This was delicious, and I wish they had been able to do something interesting like that, of this more cliche ending. Although I like the Thor got a daughter, so I guess I'm fine with it. There's also the scene with the kids. It was pretty uncomfortable with all the things happening in the world, those things, shootings, and having all the children of New Asgard being rounded up as hostage. That was I don't know, pretty uncomfortable. As for the Jane Foster storyline, I thought it got off to a really strong start. I love seeing how successful Jane had begun and her refusing to accept her stage 4 cancer diagnosis. And it was great to see her friends again, although very instantly briefly. And I like when she was just won't accept her fate in searching for answers. And what she turns into magic, if not science, that you can't explain. But there was another reason for Mjolnir teaching to her, which we find out in the flashback to her and Thor's relationship. I thought this was good too, and I like seeing the two of them happy when they were together in somewhat of a normal life, and that Thor got to live. And though how they stripped those scenes together, they did a good thing. And when they were in a good place, Thor asked Mjolnir to always protect Jane for him, and I don't think he quite understood the ramification of what he was doing at the time. And it was interesting. Now that's how Jane becomes Thor, Mighty Thor, because she sees some Mjolnir decides to look after her. Although Mjolnir made her more sick, so you're not happy. But anyway, I prefer the reasoning in the comments that Thor became unworthy and could no longer wield Mjolnir. Jane felt there must be always a Thor, so she decided to fill that space, and I think quite well. But not at the point. It was just a huge disappointment here, and I think she tried her best, and she didn't fall in, and I think she really wanted to do a good job, but I think she was just at the end of the day bad at it, and we shall never speak of this again. And it's a shame because I like the character so much in the comics. Now I love the running gag of Thor not only having to deal with his ex Jane Foster, but acting as if Mjolnir was also his ex. And then Stormbreaker was pretty jealous. To have Mjolnir back in the picture henceforth deserves so much credit for selling those scenes of having a heart-to-heart with his hammers. He was like, Stormbreaker, are we good? And the way Stormbreaker would let it sometimes drift into frame menacing was hilarious. I love the humor. I like that. I thought it was fantastic. And things like that, they just made me want to see the 4-hour cut of Taika Waititi. I also thought Russell Crowe was hilarious with his silly Greek accent and praising around his Zeus with his curl, and then Sweeter he Hotton Baton catch with his lightning ball. That was just inspired, but he's still at the same time very, very dangerous, and it was great. And it's funny to see that at what point he was the star of Gladiator, but I give Crow a lot of credit for embracing the way he looks today and making his strength in this new world. This is one of the best things I see him done recently, and he will be a bigger part in Thor 5. And whoa, Taika Waititi's trilogy, he goes from Kate Blanchett to Christian Bale to Russell Crowe, and two of those are Aussies. And I just think that's just fantastic. What a lineup. And I think it really helps his movie. If only he didn't kill them all off, although at least he kept Russell Crowe alive. Now, Tessa Thompson has nothing to do in this movie. The closest she gets to a romance is kissing the hand of Zeus' henchman. I feel so bad because she was so great in Thor Ragnarok. But really, like I say again, Team 1 and Team 2 is just pleading those two characters, the female lead role, instead of really having their own unique roles. Now, Coast development was interesting, though, especially when they reveal he comes from a species from a man who makes baby. He explained by holding hands over a lot of lava, And I guess they break in four and then grow back because they can grow back. Now Core is just a face for a while, which did not work for me, but he grows back into full size and he meets Dwayne and he decides to start a family. Dwayne is basically Core with a mustache, but it was pretty sweet to see them smiling at each other, holding hands over the lava while they waited for a baby to form. Even though this scene was again blink and you miss it, it'll be interesting. This movie was released uncut in other countries. I hope they do, but again, this representation is ridiculous in 2022 at this point. I mean, Disney, it has to, are you in or are you out? Now, other notes, Guardian of the Galaxy are totally wasted with very little screen time and even a fewer lines, but I love when they went to get Thor when he was meditating and that giant tree and he jumped on Stormbreaker as the first like a wooden horse and then he jumped out the side of the cliff, was flying like a witch on a broom, and I thought that was hilarious, just love it. And it was also great to see when he destroyed the temple of those aliens. Then the alien leader saying that you just don't bring that up. He was like, you're making me upset. That kind of stuff is my jam, my humor, and I love it. And I think those screaming ghosts were a revenge gift from those aliens, but Thor of course he's such a happy-go-lucky guy that I think they were great. Now see, I thought she was great here, beautiful, powerful, and right out of the comics. She loses her arm off camera, of course, and I like the joke when Thor says that maybe your arm is in Valhalla. But she seems to replace her arm very quickly. Now she got to two of them, I believe, when training Hamda's son, and I love introducing Hamda's son. I thought they picked a really strong, likable actor, and like focusing on a new generation of Asgardian. And since Hamda is in Valhalla, a reunion must be in the horizon, which is very exciting. And will itch this kid up to he can join John Avengers and Thor's daughter maybe too. And then of course Matt Damon, Luke Hemsworth and Sam Neill all return as the new Asgard now theme park performers. Although the Melissa McCarthy Helga was ruined by unsaid leaks. It just made me sad that not a poor man is so bad in the world. They totally changed how I feel about Jane Foster Thor in the comics. She was fantastic in the comics. But Thor is awesome, and at least he has one more exciting adventure. And oh my goodness, I like it so much, and I can't wait. So that's my spoiler review for Thor Love and Thunder. Let me know what you think of the movie. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.